Hello everyone, welcome to Carrie's Crochet and Craft. It has been a minute. I don't know, once spring hit and we started getting stuff in the garden, life got super crazy. That's all I can say. Yeah, so I've been dealing with number one, menopause. Just gonna put that out there. Hot flashes, the brain fog, mood swings, all that kind of stuff. It's been a trip with that. And it's kind of funny because I look at last summer and the horrible year that I had last year. If you've seen my video last fall, you know, 8 significant losses in my life, plus a cat loss in December. We lost another cat in June. And I'm not sure when my last video was. I should have looked at that. We lost one of our other cats at the end of June. And we ended up getting another cat that same day because right down the road some neighbors had put out free kitten signs, so we got another one there. But yeah, so last summer I was dealing with all of that and trying to plant stuff here on the farm, keep it weeded, which I did not succeed. And then our Pathfinder group, Pathfinder's like a co-ed, Boy Scouts, see there's the brain fog right there, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts joined together, and so we have a big camporee that meets every 5 years, and so last year was the summer for that. And boy, just trying to see when my last video was here. 3 months ago. I wish they would tell you like the date that I posted it. Oh, maybe it would in my, I bet you it would in, okay, we'll get it. I got a new phone and I don't like it. Sorry, I'm already off on tangents. Okay. We'll get it. Anyway, 3 months ago was my last one. That means I have to count back. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, June 29. Yeah, that was my last one. June 29, and my cat had died the day before. Yeah. So that was my last video. Sorry, I had to get that out. So yeah, looking back to last summer and realizing all those times I felt insomnia at night and super hot at night. I wasn't experiencing hot flashes during the day so much, maybe once or twice. I remember like bending down to pick something up and then getting up and then just feeling this flush of heat. But I wasn't experiencing hot flashes like I am now. So last summer it was more just like insomnia and some night sweats and some irritability and some brain fog. Of course, dealing with grief, I thought, you know, a lot of that was due to the stress and anxiety that I was having. But yeah, I was having perimenopause on top of all of that. Isn't that fantastic? Anyway, so this summer, been dealing with the hot flashes, trying to find some nice natural remedies to help take care of that. And anyway, that on top of planting my garden, and then I started selling some things. We had a little table out in front of our house and we did the honor system. So I was picking Marionberries and rhubarb, grapes, that we have some table grapes, and string beans, plums, peaches, what else did I have? So many things from our farm here that I was just selling our abundance of. And then my stepdad set up a little place at his house, which is up the ways, 3 or 4 miles outside of the small town. And so I was helping him set it up and helping him advertise his, and then also putting some of my stuff at his place. And so I was selling at both places and helping him. So Between that and then weeding, and it got so busy. And right now it's October and I'm still busy because I planted 138 tomato plants and I am reaping the harvest of that now, and I can't even give extra away to people. At least, well, I can. I found a few to give them to. And right now I have, you know, the apple boxes. I have 5 of those apple boxes full of tomatoes in my house right now that I need to process. When I pick the plants, though, I do pick like all of the ones with even just a hint of color on them. So a box could be filled with ripe ones all the way down to just a blush. So it's not like all of those tomatoes have to be processed right now, but there's probably at least 2 boxes worth that I need to process. And I decided tonight, instead of doing that, I was going to relax. I was going to get a project to crochet. So I was picking some yarn out for that, and I'm like, you know what? I have some time. I'm going to make a video just to share with you guys what's been going on in my life, because I know some of you might have been wondering where I disappeared to. I know Dana made a comment asking where I'd gone to. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been working in the garden all summer long. Yeah, crazy. So then also my husband's grandma had died last, oh my goodness, that's a story. My husband's grandma had died last spring, and so we were going to make a trip out east. It's in Tennessee. We were going to drive out there to go to her funeral, and they even delayed her funeral so that we could come, because they were going to plan it for the end of like May. My husband works at a university, and so we wouldn't have been able to go because he wouldn't have the time off to be able to make a road trip, and we can't afford to fly us all out there. So they actually delayed the funeral or the memorial service until July. And so we were planning a road trip to go out there. And there was like a period of 3 months where everything was going wrong. And this was leading up to this week that we were going to take off. You know, 2 days before we were going to drive, we were going to head out on a Sunday. And like Thursday before, I guess it's 3 days, our van was having some issues. So my husband started working on that, thinks he fixed it, and then the AC went out. And we can't go to a trip to Tennessee with no AC running in the van. So we were trying desperately to get that fixed too, but there was a part that needed to come in. It was delivered on Friday to my husband's work, where they have an auto shop there that my husband knows the guy who runs it. So they were working with him, but they said the part was delivered, but nobody could find where that part was delivered to. It was delivered to somebody in the building or somebody on the campus somewhere. Anyway, so it comes to Friday afternoon, and the part has been found finally Friday afternoon, and the guy he's working with says, well, if you can get the part in, the AC part in by like 5:30, I can help you charge the AC, which is a special process. It's not something my husband can do. So he's trying desperately to do it, and he's just finally realizing, this is not happening. So we had to cancel the road trip. And with the money, though, we had saved for gas money to go out there and some spending money and stuff. And so with that money, we were able to fly my husband out, at least. So he was able to go, but the rest of us had to stay here. And man, and the septic tank too. Our septic tank was also acting up at the same time. So he had been trying desperately also to work on that, because as he was leaving, but we were staying behind, and if the septic wasn't working, he didn't feel comfortable, leaving us there without a septic tank that wasn't working right. But he was able to somehow get it going, working the way it should. So he was still able to go. But it seemed like everything was going wrong there for like 3 weeks, and I was jokingly saying to people at church, I'm like, how things come in threes, 1 bad things happen, 2 bad things happen. You could expect 3 bad things to happen, right? And I was just thinking from March of 2023, we were starting a third year of bad things happening. Like, our bad things was not just 1 or 2 bad things, it was 1 or 2 or 3 years of bad things happening. Anyway, enough of that. Let us get to crochet. But I can tell you, the summer, I've been so busy, it's either been weeding or processing food or selling food or picking food, whatever. So I really didn't take much time to crochet, but I did get 2 things worked on. So I'm going to show you those, and then show you some yarn haul I got from, I have another yarn haul to show you, but I'll do that one later. Yarn hauls from Walmart that I got. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't know which one to show you first. One of them you can kind of see, so I'll show you this one. So when my oldest son went off to college, he wanted me to make him a blanket for him to wrap around himself when he was sitting in his chair at his computer. And so now my second son is in college and doing okay. He's struggling, trying to get used to everything that he needs to know, and that's another thing. Oh goodness, so much to talk about. We're kind of thinking that maybe he's got not ADHD, because the hyper part is not really there, but more like the ADD portion of it. And I know they used to differentiate more between those 2 terms, but now it's mostly ADHD that they talk about, but seriously, mostly just ADD, I believe. So we have an appointment to go get him tested about that. So, because if he has a diagnosis for it, then he can take that to the school and they can make accommodations for him. He mostly has trouble with writing. He has a very hard time writing. He's got a very literal mind, and if he doesn't care about a subject, there is no way you can get any kind of sentences out of him. So he has to take college writing this quarter, and so he's struggling with that. So anyway, I'm back to crochet. I keep going off on these tangents. Just tell me, Carrie, stick to it, okay? So anyway, he wanted a blanket too, so he picked out a pattern. I believe I showed it to you quite some time ago in one of my other videos. I don't have the pattern out here with me, but I did change it a bit, only in that I changed the stripes in it. It had 3 different colors, and it had like 3 stripes, but only on one end of the blanket, and the other end of the blanket was all one solid color. He wanted stripes all the way down, so that's what I did. So this is what I made him out of blanket yarn, baby denim, and seeing if I have the other color in here. This blue color here, I can't remember what the name, cobalt? Maybe cobalt. Anyway, so these 2 blues I made, and it's just a repeated stripe pattern on both sides. And I made it, because of the way I made it, I wanted to do the stripe patterns the same from the midpoint on, and so it actually ended up being a little longer than what the pattern called for. So it's close to 6 feet long now. So I think it is right about 6 feet. So anyway, that is his blanket that he can take to his dorm room. And now that I've shown you, I can send it home with him tonight, because he's home visiting. The university they go to is like 5 miles up the road. It's where my husband works, so it's not like it's a long ways away. So yeah, he can take this with him now. And I would have never put these 2 blues together, but those are the blues that he chose. And it turned out okay. It turned out better than I thought it would look like, but yeah. So that's one project that I worked on. And I was really rushing to get it done, trying to get it done by the time he started college, but I did get it done, but then I wanted to show you guys before I gave it to him, so it took a while to get that done. The other thing that I worked on this summer is one that I have shown you that I did get started, and I finally got it done, which is really awesome, because I sometimes have a hard time getting projects done in a timely fashion. For instance, I don't know if you remember that advent calendar. It had the tree with the little pockets that held the ornaments, and he put the ornaments on the tree. Still haven't finished that. Anyway, this was the sweater that my husband wanted me to make him. He bought this yarn in Turkey. He's going back to Turkey this winter. He's got a faculty development grant and sabbatical at his work. They gave him a sabbatical where he gets a quarter off to work on a project that helps further his learning, I guess. It's development for his job, you know, developing his skills or knowledge on certain things. So he is going to Turkey to do videos on the last churches, the 7 churches of Laodicea. I think Laodicea is one of the churches anyway. So it's in the letters of Paul, I think. So Corinth, Colossae, Laodicea, and other churches. Anyway, he's going to go visit those churches. He already went to some this last spring break. And anyway, he's going there in wintertime, and so he wanted me to use the yarn that he bought him to make the sweater. And this is how it turned out. And last I showed you, I had the 2 panels done and then 1 sleeve partially done. So I added this stripe to the pattern. I did not bring the pattern out with me either, but I've shown it to you before. It's very simple. It's just 2 panels sewn together at the top, and then down the sides, and then the sleeves are very simple as well. So there it is. It fits him nicely, except he does not like the collar, how it goes straight across right here, and then it kind of comes out to here. So he wants me to do something, and plus he doesn't like how you can't differentiate between front and back. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of start here in the center front and do like single crochet, and then work up to half double crochet, and then work into double crochet around the back, and then come back down around so that the back part is going to be taller than the front, and try to figure out a way to maybe round it out a little more so that it's not like this coming right across here. He just doesn't like the look of it just right across there. So anyway, that is done, except for figuring out the collar. But even if I don't get it done, he could still at least take it like it is, because it is technically finished. So I'm very proud of myself for finishing this before, like way before he even has to take it. Aren't you proud of me? So I am glad that that is done, and I have a lot of yarn left over. I think I still have some skeins over there, but I have at least 2 full skeins of the rest. I don't know what color. It doesn't have a color. The rusty color and the navy color, and then 2 partial skeins here, a partial skein of the gray, and I know I have more yarn over there. Let me go see if I can find it, but that means I can make more, and I think he wants me to make him a hat out of it to match the sweater. So I'll be right back, see if I can find that. I can't find it, so I'm not sure where it is. Maybe I used all the rest of it up. I'll need to recount the skeins and figure out how much I used to see how much I had left. I'm pretty sure I have more of it somewhere though. But anyway, I'm going to use some of this leftover to make him a hat, and I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm going to kind of do a kind of double strand, and do the kind of hat where you work a rectangle and then you tighten it up at the top, but like, you know, do 2 rows of the blue, and then the next 2 rows are like the blue and the gray, and then 2 rows of just gray, and you know, just kind of do a mix of the yarns around like that. I think that'll be really cool. So that's all I made this summer. That is entirely all that I worked on, like nothing else. We did a 2-week period at the beginning of summer. I think I shared this because my last video was the end of July or the end of June, and we did the 2-week break in mid-June, or around June 29 actually. And so I was starting to feel guilty for like sitting there and crocheting while watching something. So I would just sit there and watch something and work on nothing. Well, I mean, I had these 2 things to work on. Those did take a while. So anyway, I've been itching to get back to crocheting. I still feel pressure to get the tomatoes canned. I still have some to pick, like boxes and boxes to pick. And I have the garden stuff to clear out still. So I've been trying to make videos on my farm channel actually. I made a couple videos over there already, and I have ideas for more things to make videos on, but it's sometimes hard to just get moving on the things that I need to do without remembering to take a video of them too. So anyway, that's what I made. Let me show you yarn hauls. There's 3 yarn hauls from Walmart that I want to show you, and you're gonna be just shocked and surprised and shocked and awed at the variety of things that I got. I'm just kidding. There's not a variety. But I went to Walmart one day, and along the back aisle they have a clearance section where they sometimes have some yarn on clearance. And so I went there one day, and they had the Lion Brand yarn Instant Knit for $5. I don't know how much these are to begin with. I think they're more like $8 or $9. They had them there for $5. So I'm like, wow. And I'm like, I don't knit though. They've got the see if I can show you without my face in the way. So it's made so you can instantly insert your knitting needles. Maybe I'll give that a try. You know me and knitting needles, and if you don't, you should know me and knitting needles don't get along. But since I wouldn't have to actually I don't know what you call it, load the knitting needles. Since I wouldn't have to load the knitting needles, I could just use this, right? Maybe I could actually give it a try. We'll see. But on the other hand, I can just snip that right off and have a whole skein of Woolies Thick and Quick. Woolies Thick and Quick. To use for crochet. So they had a bunch of this on clearance for $5, and I did not buy it all. I did not buy it all on the first trip. Let me show you what I bought on the first trip. I was modest. I was modest in the colors that I bought, okay? Very modest. I bought this pinky color. What is it? Making Me Blush. Making Me Blush. Can you see that? Is the color there somewhere? Is it upside down for you? No, it's right side up. There's the color name. Making Me Blush. And it's a 6 bulky weight, 7.9 ounces, 225 grams, 165 yards, or 151 meters. 80% acrylic and 19% wool, 1% polyester. So yeah, so this is Making Me Blush. How many of these did I get? Yeah, I got four of this color, because I think that would be a nice, I thought that would be a nice neutral for making like a, my idea was like either a capelet or do like a hat and scarf set, but just kind of a nice neutral color that's kind of fashionable. I love color. I love all kinds of color. I don't always choose the neutrals And I love this pink though. I kind of consider it a neutral, but I do love this pink color. Anyway, 4 of those. And then 4 of suit yourself. Not suit yourself. Where is it? Do you see it? Soot yourself. Like a charcoal soot. I got 4 of those. That's a nice, like, gray, dark gray. It's not black. It's a dark gray. Again, a nice kind of neutral that people tend to be focused or tend to be attracted to. Then I got one other color, and that is something I rarely buy. Cream colored. Creme de la creme. Here we go. There you go. Creme de la creme. Creme de la creme. Get some French going on there. So yeah, this is a nice creamy color. So I only paid $5 each for these. So, like I said, kept my colors tame because they had other colors there, and I'm like, those are kind of nice. I kind of like those, but I don't know what I'm gonna make with them yet, so I didn't get them on that trip. So I waited a while. I did not go back. I may have looked at them again, but I ended up maybe not getting them on this trip or that trip. But then on another trip, they had a color there that they didn't have in that section before. So I'm like, MJ's Off the Hook had just come out with, or they were going to be coming out with, I don't know if you've seen it, a whole series. Like they had a month-long release of patterns, crochet along patterns. They had the mushroom. They have a super cute owl, which I'm going to make. Going to make the mushrooms too. Mushrooms, owl. What else did they have? I can't even think of it now. Anyway, oh, a cat, super cute. Pumpkins, stacked pumpkins. It seems like there was something else. Super cute. Love them all. And I think it'd be really fun to do, like, you know, I've been wanting to do like themed items, and I think having a rustic theme would be really cute. And she has a bunny pattern. She has a, oh, what is it? Another pattern that I really liked, using that same kind of rustic look, where I think she does the, you know, the crochet in the back loop only, so that there's that ridge showing. It's really cute. Oh, that was something I bought a while ago and was gonna make in the rustic pattern. Anyway, I can't think of it right now, but anyway, I lost my train of thought there. She had the mushroom pattern, and so I had gone to Walmart and I saw this color and had to get it to do the mushroom, or maybe some of those other patterns. So again, the instant knit that's still on clearance for $5. This is the Spice Baby. Spice Baby. There you go. And I got, looks like 5 of these. I think these would make, you know, would even be good for the pumpkin patterns, but I think they'd be good with the mushroom pattern as well. Maybe even the owl, brown, orangey brown owl. Maybe. Huh. Well, it doesn't quite match. Doesn't quite match my husband's sweater. Guess it's not as bright. So 5 of those. And then they still had some of the creme de la creme. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more of those, making 10 of these total now, or 9, no, 10 of these total now in this color. What am I going to use all this for? That's a good question. Oop. that happened this summer too. I woke up one morning and both of my thumbs, you know, I had trigger thumb and this thumb before, and I had gotten a cortisol shot a year ago, the day actually my mom died, because I had an appointment for that day and I wasn't going to cancel, even though my mom had just died. The cortisol shot helped, but then like last spring it started bothering me again, and I did a hot water bath this time, hot water therapy, hot and cold therapy on it, and that helped take care of it. But then one morning I woke up and both of my thumbs were giving me issues. And so this thumb is better again, but now this thumb, I need to sit down and make sure I do that hot and cold water therapy, because that really does help. But it's just really inflamed in there and I can't bend it, and when it does get bent, oh, it hurts. But anyway, so I'm still dealing with that, even though this one is fine. I don't even know how I overuse this to have it be that way. Very strange. I don't want to think arthritis. It could be arthritis, but I don't want to think arthritis, so we're not going to go that path. We're just going to have it be trigger thumb, and I'm going to fix it, and we'll be all good. Nothing else. Anyway, so back to my yarn haul. I can't remember if they had this color there before. They may have. They did have quite a few options when I first went for these colors here. I don't know if they had these. I'm pretty sure that they didn't have these. But I love this color right here. Beach Please. You know, that's a play on Beach Please. That is such a pretty blue, and I love it. Kind of with that pink, but with this cream color. I think it's, I don't know, it's very vintagey feeling, don't you think? These two and this pink is, the pink with the cream, very vintage feel. I might have to find a vintage pattern to do that with. So 4 of those, and then one more gorgeous color. This green, Evergreen with Envy. I love the names of these. Evergreen with Envy. And I got, again, 4 of those. So, loving the deals that I got. $5. So then I went the other day, just last week, and I went back there to that section just to see if they had any other kinds of yarn on clearance. And what do you know? They had more. They had more of this yarn still. I mean, they had a lot through there. So what do you know? But they had more. Not a whole lot left though, like just 1 shelf's worth, and not like a full shelf. It was marked down to $2.50. I mean, that's almost Joann's clearance price, right? Not last day clearance price, but the last week or so clearance price. $2.50. So yeah, I bought the rest that they had on the shelf. They were bright colors though, and some of these have been there, and some of them I've almost bought because I like them. In fact, I really love this color, but I've what's the word? I've kept myself from buying this color because it's so bright. It's like, what do you do with this? I love it though, and I love it. So that was one of the colors that they had left. They had this beautiful blue, and I love this blue, but I don't always feel like working a project with it. But that was the biggest color I think that they had left, actually. They had this lavender color. So let me go through these, and we'll show you how much I got of each. They're kind of all mixed up in their bag because I was just tossing them in just to get the bag packed and get out of the store. Okay. So of this blue is called Goody Blue Shoes instead of Goody Two Shoes. Goody Blue Shoes. Ah, there we go. Goody Blue Shoes. I got 5 of those, $2.50 each. I got, they had 2 of this pink again, 2 of the Making Me Blush. So again, $2.50 for these. So I'm adding them to the 4 that I have, so I have 6 of those total. And then this very brilliant turquoise color. Let's see the color of that. Never Blue Over You. Ah, there we go. Very bright turquoise. I mean, I see these two colors together and I'm like, whoa, that's bright. But this with the white, I think that would make something very nice together. So yeah, so of this color, so 3 of the blue ones there, I'll be blue, Never Blue Over You. And so then finally of this very bright color, what is this color? Hot to Trot. Hot to Trot, very bright coral pink. I love it. I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of it yet, but you know, kind of a patchwork blanket out of these, that'd be pretty. I'll have to think about that. A nice, oh yeah, nice stripes or squares. I think that'd be pretty neat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of this color. So at $2.50 for those, though, that's a really good deal. So now I get the joy of figuring out what to make. I also wanted to give a report. Sorry, let me get some of these yarns put up back in the bags here. I did one event the whole summer long. One event to sell stuff at. And that was at a retirement home, more retirement home facility, and assisted living. They were putting on a small farmers market just for their residents. Of course, anybody was welcome to come, so there could be other people there too, but it was geared towards, you know, getting their residents outside and having fun, you know, entertaining them. And I took a lot of my produce that I had. I had green beans and peaches, plums, grapes, I think some peppers. I don't know if I had any peppers there. So I took a lot of the produce that I had from the farm to sell, and I sold quite a bit of that. And then I set up my craft things as well. I sold a bar of soap. I sold some of my lavender sugar that I've made, which is you just mix lavender in with sugar, and the lavender infuses into the sugar, and you can use that for like putting in your coffee or sprinkling on muffins, whatever. So I sold some of that, and then I sold, I think, 1 Highland cow stuffy. I think that was all that I sold of my crafty stuff. But that was it. I was invited again to the Pioneer event over in Waitsburg. I've done that several years. Last year I did not do it, mostly because I was, you know, the year that I had, and I really didn't have anything prepared for selling there, so I didn't participate last year. And then this year I was all set to. I really wanted to, but that was the day my second son was moving into the dorm, and because he's just needed a little more hand holding than our older son did, I was just all like, you know, I think I need to be there. And I really missed out when my older son started college. I'm like, I don't know, I just had in my head pictured when your kids goes to college, you go shopping for college things. You can buy, you know, help them pick out a mini fridge. You help them buy sheets and blankets and dishes and help them get all settled. And I missed out on that with my oldest son because of actually the event that I did in Waitsburg. And I always kind of regretted missing that, even though it really wasn't that big of a deal. But it's like my husband got to participate in a lot of that stuff, whereas I didn't. And so with my second son, I was like, you know, I really think that I need to be there for him to help him get settled and figure things out. So I skipped the Pioneer Harvest Days, Fall Harvest Festival. I'll get it out this year. I didn't get to participate, or I chose not to participate, I should say. So yeah, I hardly sold a thing beyond that spring fling that I did. I am still formulating ideas for my gift shop, and I kind of have my husband's go ahead to get started on that, so I'm gonna start kind of gathering things and ideas for how I want to set it up. So that'll be coming after I process some tomatoes. So I know I've prattled on a lot in this video, and it's probably pretty long, so I am going to sign off for now. But I'll be back on again to show you what else I'm gonna make. I have some yarn right here that I'm looking at, and I'm just saying I think I know what I'm gonna make out of that, but I'll talk about that another day. I hope to be back a little more often now, make more of a priority to make videos for you guys. And anyway, I will see you next time. Bye.